simple little campaign that I threw together in, man, just a few minutes. I started taking reservations within an hour, and now I have one of my favorite musicians playing at my place. I thought that we would do something a little different and actually get more into the meat of the system, and maybe build something like a complete little system. And actually, I wanted to show a couple of things. So for example, this here is one of the requests that we had, which is cool looking page. But again, this is, can I just hide this? Yeah. This is really like pretty simple. There's kind of nothing to this. This is a block with an orange background and some text in it. This is a block with an image background and a parallax setting with, this is an image here. You can see that. I drag that around, and then this is text and another text block. This is a 2-column block with a video on one side and some text over here and a button, and then another row with some text there. Here we obviously have a light, like a dark gray, I guess, block here with an image. This is an image you can see because I can drag that around. And we're just kind of like moving down through these. This is all really quite simple. The 2-column block with an image and some text. Again, parallax background here with a white overlay. And then these are just basic elements. This is a button, a countdown timer. This gets very slightly more sophisticated. This is a 2-column block with one of these columns made a little bit bigger, and then a gray background on this section here. And then it's squeezed in top and bottom a little bit with some margin, which margin will squeeze the background, whereas padding will only squeeze the contents of the block. So this is squeezed down a little bit with some margin on this column, top and bottom, and then this one isn't, which is how you get this kind of like jog here in the corners. And yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like, this is a divider. These are icons next to individual text elements. It's all just really simple stuff. So, so I'm not going to recreate this, but I did want to just point out one thing here, which is this. This is a little pop-up that happens when you click this button. And so I'm just going to show you how I would do that. And because there's a couple of pieces of the system you need to use to do that. And it's pretty simple, but I just want to throw it out there. So, so let's just go ahead and make a new landing page. And then after I show you this, many of you probably know this. After I show you this, I'm gonna actually show you a little system that I put together yesterday, because I posted this on my Instagram wall and my personal Facebook. But I have this musician friend. He's not really that much of a friend, but I've met him a few times, and somebody I've been a fan of for almost 20 years. This guy named Tim Bloom of the Mother Hips. He's a California musician, and he's in town this next week. And he kind of posted on his Instagram wall, said he's going to be in town, and somebody said, "Hey, are you having any shows?" And he said, "No, maybe a home concert. Got any ideas for a venue?" And I said, "Yeah, how about my place?" And next thing you know, we kind of like arranged it. So this guy is going to come do a solo acoustic show at my house on Saturday, which is super cool. So I had to kind of quickly manage stuff like getting an RSVP list going and responding to those people, and putting a reminder together. I put a little page together. It took me like all of, I don't know, 30 minutes to throw the whole thing together. So I'll show you what I did. There's a couple of interesting things about it. And actually, I'm going to make a quick cancellation thing, because we got a bunch of reservations. I don't know, my living room may fit 50 or 70 people, but we're going to end up with a bunch more reservations than that, I can tell already. And so we're going to need to have like a waiting list, and I want to make sure that people who, we're not collecting money up front. I didn't feel like, it's more of a donation thing. I didn't want to get into selling tickets, just because mostly for liability reasons, to be honest. I don't want people calling me if they drink and drive. So so it's going to be a donations thing to the artist. But I want to make sure that people just give me their email address, and then they don't show up, but I want to give them a way to cancel, basically. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that with track link here in a minute. So just real quickly, let's do this. Let me figure out a real quick one here. Something with a button on it, like this guy right here. First, we're going to do this little pop-up. So this is it. Sign up to get free lessons. You can see here, this is a nice little template. But you can see that there's a button, but not a form, a sign-up form. So first thing I want to point out is, in case it hasn't been made obvious, there's two different kinds of buttons on this thing. There's a button, and then there's a submit button, and those are very different tools. They both have the same style settings, so you can make them look the same, but they're pretty different in terms of what they do. A button is just a link to something, and a submit button is actually going to submit a form to our servers. And if you use the wrong one, you're going to have problems. If you use a button to try to submit a form, it's not going to work. Fortunately, the system will tell you, it'll say, hey, you don't have a submit button on this form. There's no way people can submit it. So it'll tell you. But if you use a submit button on a like in this scenario where there's no form, it's going to work, but it's going to basically send the people through our whole processing form submission process, which is it pops up that thing that says processing, and it takes time, so you don't want to use that. So so this is a normal button. It says button editor here, and then it says button link, and so we just click on the link here, and you can link to a bunch of different things. You can link to a URL, it'll just take them to another page. You can link them to an Ontraport landing page, which is basically the same thing, except we just let you pick the page name, which is kind of cool because it's easier. And also, if you change the hosting on the page, you don't need to worry about your links. Link to a block on this page. Hopefully you guys have seen this. This is really cool. You can select a block, and then you can go down here and link to this block, and then when you preview the sucker, it'll roll down to that block. That's a pretty cool feature. And oops, let's come back here, and then you can link to a tracked link, which is pretty nice. And this way you don't have to. It used to be that you had to go find the URL that we gave you, but now you can just use the tracked link name. I'm actually going to use that in a minute for that cancellation email that I was just telling you about. An Ontraport hosted file, so a download file, and then an Ontraform lightbox. That's what we're going to use right here for this thing. And I'm just going to pick one. Right, I don't know what this might look like. But let's just see if I preview this, and there you go. Now you have the form in a lightbox, and you can fill this out. And then what you do is when you want this thing to go to a thank you page, you just manage that in the form itself. So I think that was called the demo request step 1. So I'm going to not bother saving this. But we'll go back here, and we'll go to forms, and we'll do a quick search for demo, and there it is, demo request step 1. And you'll see that we're now in Ontraforms. This is the old editor. This is getting worked on, so this will soon be the new V3 drag and drop editor, but it's not yet. But at any rate, you click here, and click on the button, and then you get the URL that's gonna go to, and you end up with the same thing. You can pick all these different options. So you pick a thank you page or whatever it is you want, and that is how you manage that. So so if you ever need to do this kind of situation here, it's basically the same exact deal. You just use an Ontraform, you choose it as an Ontraform lightbox on your landing page for a button link. It also works for a submit button link, and that's how you take care of that. So I think that apart from that, there's not really like much question about how to do this. The thank you page, again, this is these blocks are basically in here as templates, pretty much. Oops, go to pages. If I go to new landing page, just to see, if I was going to try and make this, this is an image with some text on the side. This takes just seconds to put that together, even if the image is, that block isn't already here. Let's see, maybe look at there it is. I just saw it. Image with some text on the side. So we'll just select that one. And yeah, let's see. I mean, this is just, oops, let's get rid of that. This is just a matter of changing the fonts, making them centered, adding a divider in here, which you can do like that. You can, take that divider and make it blue very quickly. Let's see. Edit style. I'll make it primary. Done. I can make it thicker too, of course. Shrink it down. These guys just need to be centered. I mean, we're pretty much there already. Probably get rid of some of that padding. Again, fix the fonts. Looks like this guy wants to be moved to the bottom. So in order to move this to the bottom, again, you got to just get in here and deal with some of the spacing. So this block has a bunch of margin on it, top and bottom padding. So that's that. And then if you want to just get in here and maybe, just to make it look exactly the same, put a little padding on the top of the sucker. So you can edit this column and add some top padding, and then obviously change that image. But boom, I mean, we pretty much, oops, let's get that thing centered again. Again, change the fonts, but we're basically there. This is pretty simple stuff. So I'm not going to get into like remaking the exact template here. If there's any like particular questions you have, like how do I make this exact thing, I'm happy to answer those questions. But again, for basic use of the system, go back to the other Template Tuesdays. There's a lot of time spent just building blocks from scratch and kind of showing how this stuff is done. But I'm just going to show you. I mean, I'm no like graphic designer, but I threw this together in a few minutes yesterday. So Tim Blum, Santa Barbara Sense, and even California Soul with legendary Tim Bloom. I gotta say his name right. I just had it in my head that it's Blum, but it's not. It's Bloom. And yeah, what do we got here? This is a 2-column block with some text and a little form. This might be a couple blocks. I can't remember what I did here. Probably 2 blocks. I just copied one, dropped some videos in there so people know what it's like, and another block with some text. Again, this took me, I don't know, 10 minutes max to put this together. If you want to see how I did this, in order to get this to kind of stay in the top portion of the screen, no matter what the screen size is, I did do a couple of interesting things. First of all, I made this first block match the viewport size so that it kind of is the size of your screen when you load the page. And then I also made the block contents. If you make this default, it kind of squishes down in. But if you go full, you can see that the blocks or the columns in there stretch out and fill the space. And I put a bunch of blank rows in here because I wanted this thing to kind of end up in the top quarter of your space. And then again, I put some blank blank columns over here because I wanted it to end up in the top right chunk of your screen. Put a little padding top and bottom, and now that tends to work out good, depending on no, on the screen. It doesn't really matter. The other thing that I did that was very slightly interesting on this page is that I wanted to get just a little peek of Tim's face in here. The image that I had, I'll show you the image that I had as the background image here. Let's see, background, change image. The original image that I swiped off the internet was, oh, this is funny. I made the fave icon into Tim's face. So if you look at that, you'll see his little face is this little icon up here. This is like a ClickFunnels page. This is our little icon right here. They call it a fave icon. You can set that. I'll show you how to do it. But you just need to make a square image in a couple of different formats, and it'll load that up there. It's kind of funny. But here's the original image. If I insert that sucker, and then I go back and look at the version here, you just don't have any of his face. And that's, it's guitar. But I wanted to just get a little peek of his face in there. And so I used our new editor to just crop that sucker. So to edit these images, we put this really cool new editor in here. Here's one weirdness that I found in here that's worth just noticing. So you just crop it, but go to transform. You crop that sucker, and I noticed that if you just click save right here, it hasn't actually made the change. You kind of have to like click away to like somewhere else on here. But now it has got all these different filters on here. Kind of cool. That's kind of a nice look. And then you save that, and yeah, just saves that sucker. And by cropping the right side, obviously I'm moving his face over to the right a little bit, and boom, there we have it. If I save that sucker and then look at the view, I've got a little bit of Tim Blum's face on the mobile view, which is what I was going for, and so now we're looking good. I almost like that better actually than the unedited version. So maybe I'll save this. And of course, with Ontraport Pages, as soon as I save it, it is immediately published. That's going to change in a little bit as we are going to be releasing autosave, and that's going to include a version history, because obviously we can't be auto-saving your live page and publishing it every time you make a change. Otherwise, you'll have half-done pages posted live on the internet. So we'll have an auto-saved draft, and then you'll have a publish button, just like it works now in campaigns. When you start to edit a campaign, it creates a draft for you, and you're editing that draft. And then you have a published version and a draft, and then you publish the draft, and that becomes the published version. So that's going to be how this works. That's going to be how this works in the future. But for now, when you save the page, it just publishes it live. If it's published already, which this is, it just publishes my changes live. Okay, so that's basically the size of it. I did a couple of other little things here. You can see where I published this page. And you can see the little Tim Bloom face in the fave icon there. I did a couple things. I changed the color on these suckers, hover color, to kind of match the background of this thing. But that's really it. I didn't see any need to get too crazy with it. But let's just take a quick peek at the campaign that I made. Oops. Campaign that I made for the sucker. So we've had 30 different individuals respond, which is good. Most people are coming as couples, so that's probably 60 people or so that we've got. So yeah, how does this work? This campaign is pretty simple. I just killed this because I'm not going to add anybody manually, so I just put an end right there. And then here I have a trigger that says if anybody submits this form, the Tim Blum form on the landing page, then they can be added here. And then I have a little condition. I threw this in here because I basically don't trust myself to take this page down, to remember to take the page down after the sorry, after this, the event is over, and when you fill the form out, you end up getting my home address, and I just didn't want that to be like living there on the internet forever. If you guys would not fill out that form, that would be great. I just realized I posted that form URL on the internet. So yeah, don't do that. But anyway, after if today is before the day after the event, then it will send them this email. Yes, it'll send the Tim Blum confirmation email. Afterwards, it's just going to end the thing, and it's just not going to do anything. So nobody will get my home address. And then let's see. Today is a specific date. What does this do? Add the contact here when today is a specific date. So that is, I can just show you what I did here. It's just a reminder email. So it's only any contact on this map. I don't want to send it to my entire list. So it's only the people who have reserved. And today is 11/10, which is the day of the event. So on 11/10 at midnight, as soon as it's 11/10, all these contacts that are sitting here, 30 of them, are going to get added here. Are they going to get moved here? I guess they're going to get moved here. That's cool. So they're going to get moved here. I could also just add them here again when this is triggered. There's, in this particular case, it doesn't really matter. So that's just, it is what it is. But it's going to add them here at midnight on 11/10. And then I'm going to just wait until 10 a.m. I added an hour here for no reason, but this is going to wait till the time is 10 a.m. in my time zone. And then it's going to send an email that says, hey, here's a reminder that the show is tonight. And you know what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to to make a little change. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So here's the Tim reminder email. I'm going to edit this. So I'm not going to edit this one. I'm going to create a new one. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a new trigger. I'm going to do it on Friday. So date, today is a specific date, and I'm going to send it on Friday. Done. And maybe I'll do the same thing, wait until 10 a.m. I can just move that over here and copy this item. You guys know you can do that, right? It's a really useful little trick. And then I'm going to send an email. And I'm going to end it. And that's that. Now let's just go ahead and edit this email, create a new message. Message name, Tim cancel. And we can save and edit that. And let's see, I'll copy an existing one just for fun. Tim reminder. Okay, good. So now we've got this here, and now I'm going to just, what am I going to do? I'm going to take this out, and then I'm going to say show is sold out. Are you still coming? And sure, that's a header. And then let's see, save that. And actually, I can turn that content back on. I'm going to say, hey, we only have a small space. So if you're not going to make it, will you let us know so we can make your spot available to someone else? Okay, and then that's good. And then let's see the button. Perfect. Add this button on here. I'm going to edit the button. I can't make it. Please give away my seed. Okay, that's cool. And now I'm going to create a tracked link for this. I'm going to create a new tracked link. Tracked link name Tim Cancel. I'm going to have to make, I'm going to have to change this later because I don't have a, a page ready for this, a thank you page ready for this. Let's see, I know what I'll do. I'll just go here and say sad face. And then we'll say like this, and that's a pretty good sad face. Open image, a new tab, boom. That'll be my thank you page. Wait, what am I doing here? What happened? Let's create a new track link. Tim, cancel, create new track link, save. Let's open this in the, well, it doesn't matter because it's an email. Just do it like this. Okay. I don't know, insert link. So there we go. And save that. Save that email. Now, that's going to happen at, let's see, 10 a.m. on the day before. I'm just going to move that over, just reorder that so I can switch those places so it kind of goes in order. And then I'm going to make one more trigger here, which is clicks the track link. Clicks track link. And then I'm going to say Tim cancel. Done. And then when that thing is canceled, I'm going to update a contact. And what am I going to do here? I'm going to symbol of attendees, the number of attendees. Oops. Fill that out. Select none. So I'm going to just set the number of attendees. They selected 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever it was. I'm just going to select none, make it back to 0, so that my count is right. And then end. And shoot, that's all we really needed to do. So we can publish this thing, save and publish. And now that email will go out on Friday at 10 a.m. And if they need to cancel, they can just click that button and they'll be canceled. And if they don't click it, they'll have their space saved. And now I can just go. Of course, I've made a group here of contacts. We've got 32 people have registered for this sucker. And you can see that you can see, I'm just gonna, this is all, numbers of people, but that'll go to 0 if they cancel. And yeah, we should have a sense of how it goes. Now, if this gets to be crazy right now, we're just a little over my available space, but probably 2/3 of the people won't show up, or 1/3 of the people, 2/3 will show up probably. I could do a sold out email, change it up so that once we get to a certain number of people, I could create a waiting list or whatever. But you guys can kind of see how this goes. Yeah, I think that's about the size of it. Simple little campaign that I threw together in, just a few minutes, and started taking reservations within an hour. And now I have one of my favorite musicians playing at my place. So that is pretty cool. And you know what? If you don't have any questions, I'm going to call it a day. So any questions or thoughts about that, feel free to chat them in. But I thought that might be useful. Maybe we'll do more of these kind of campaign templates and a little more sophisticated uses of the system, because kind of building pages over and over again is going to get boring after a while. All right, so we'll continue the conversation online. Thanks for showing up, guys, and talk to you next time.